Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Sarasvati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyati Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna devotees. So let us start with the Brahma Samhita. Let me explain you what is this Brahma Samhita. Brahma Samhita is a Vedic literature which is spoken by Lord Brahma. So Lord Brahma is the creator of the universe, and Lord Brahma is telling all his realizations in this text called as Śrī Brahma-saṁhitā. So this is a Vedic literature, and this text had become extinct, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his tour to South India had obtained the manuscript for this in one of the Vishnu temples in Kerala. So that is how this Brahma Samhita was found. And only Brahma Samhita also, only one chapter is found. So from that chapter we are reading, and Brahma Samhita, we recite these shlokas in ISKCON whenever we do Abhishekam or whenever there is a Janmashtami festival. We recite these shlokas from Brahma Samhita. So each of these shloka is filled with a lot of meaning. So we thought we will do this Brahma Samhita explanation for the next 30 days, starting from today, that is 17th of October, till 15th of November, approximately 29 days, we will be doing the Brahma Samhita. So let us start with the first verse of Brahma Samhita. So this is Śrī Brahma-saṁhitā. The first verse goes like this. Ishvarah Paramah Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govindaha Sarvakarana Karanam. Would anybody like to repeat?
Can I repeat, Prabhuji?
Yes, please.
Ishvara Paramakrishna Satchitananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. Ishvara Paramakrishna Satchitananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Anybody wants to repeat the shloka?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare
Yes,
Krishna, may I?
Hare Krishna. Yes, please go ahead.
Ishvara Paramaha Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. Translation also, Prabhuji?
Yes, you can read it.
Translation: Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the supreme Godhead. He has an eternal blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin, and he is the prime cause of all causes. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Anybody else wants to read the shloka? Ishvara Parama Krishna.
May I, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govindaha Sarvakarana Karanam. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, devotees. So this is the first verse that Lord Brahma has spoken. And what is the subject matter of this Brahma Samhita becomes very clear from this very shloka, which happens to be the Mula Mantra for the entire Brahma Samhita. So it goes like this. Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the supreme God. He has an eternal blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin, and he is the prime cause of all causes. So this gives a hint of what is going to come in the entire book of Brahma Samhita. So the first line itself, Lord Brahma is admitting that Ishwaraha Paramaha Krishna. So it starts with the name of Krishna. Krishna and Ishwara Paramaha. Let us try to understand what that means. Ishwara means controller. Ishwara means controller. And Parama Ishwara means controller of the controllers. That is Parama Ishwara. Just like gods, there are many. There may be many gods who are very powerful in this material world. But Godhead, there is one. That is why Srila Prabhupada has coined the terminology, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Godhead means gods, there are many. Controllers, there are many. Ishvara, there are many. Everybody is an Ishvara. But Godhead, there is only one. That is Krishna. Who is the controller of your house? You are the controller of your house. So Ishvara or Ishvari. Ishvari is feminine. Ishvara is masculine. Ishvara or Ishvari, you are the controller of your house. But who is the controller of all such controllers? All the mini controllers. There is one controller for every controller. But first of all, how do we know that there is a controller at all? The Upanishad says, Tam Ishvaranam Paramam Maheshwaram. This is the Upanishad Vakya. That means among all the Ishvaras, there are many controllers, there is one single controller. Paramam Maheshwara. The topmost controller is one. Also in the Upanishads, it is said that Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Eko Bahunam Yo Vidhati Kaman. Nityo Nityanam. That means there are many eternals. Every living entity is eternal. Every human being, every living entity is eternal living being. Nitya. Among all these eternals, there is one eternal. Nityo Nityanam. Among all the Nityas, that is among all the eternals, there is one supreme eternal. Chetanas Chetananam. So every human being, every living being is having cognizance or consciousness. Among all those who are conscious, there is one being who is super conscious. Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadati Kaman. This singular is providing for all the plural. So that singular is the supreme controller or the absolute truth, the Parama Ishvara, Lord Shri Krishna. So if we see beyond the perspective of our house, we have a controller for our house. We have a controller for our city, the municipal corporation. We have a controller for our state. We have a controller for the country. We have the controller for the entire world. And who is the controller for the entire world? So who is the master of the universe? So for this material world, as far as this material world is concerned, it is also called as Brahmanda, material world. Can anybody tell me who is the master of the material world?
Brahma.
Brahma. Brahma is the creator of the material world. And actually it is not a master but mistress. The master of the material world is, mistress of the material world is Mahamaya or Durga. Srishti Sthiti Pralaya Sadhana Shakti Rekha Chayeva Yasya Bhuvanani Bhibarti Durga. That means the activities of creation, maintenance and destruction are maintained by Durga Devi in this material world, also known as Mahamaya. So who is the master of Durga Devi? Her husband Mahadev. So this is the material universe. This is just one among the millions of material universes that we have. This is called as Brahmanda. And this Brahmanda, what we are talking about, like infinite, is just one of them. There are millions of Brahmandas. Every Brahmanda is like a small drop or like a small bubble. Imagine a bubble in an ocean. That is this Brahmanda. There are infinite Brahmandas. So who is the controller of all these Brahmandas? And beyond this Brahmanda, material world, do we have anything else? Anybody can say, what do we have beyond the material world?
Spiritual world.
Spiritual world.
Spiritual world. We have the spiritual world. So who is the master of the material world and the spiritual world both? That answer we can get only when the absolute truth speaks. If we want to know about God, we cannot speculate about God. God himself has to speak about himself. Otherwise, we will never get to know by speculation or by guesses. So the textbook that we have with us is called as Brahma-saṁhitā. And we have another textbook which is spoken by God himself, that is named as Bhagavad Gita. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate. That means, I am the source of the material worlds and the spiritual worlds. So Krishna is saying that I am the source of the spiritual world and the material world. So the ultimate controller of all the material worlds and all the spiritual worlds, which are the Vaikuntha planets, is Lord Shri Krishna. Now, that is Krishna, master of all the material and spiritual universes, known as Parama Ishvara. Now, how does he look like? Now, how does God look like? There are many speculations, many theories, many guesses that God is light, God looks like this, God is formless, God is feminine, God is masculine, etc., etc. But there is no need to speculate, because here the authority is speaking. Our process is hearing from the authority. We do not speculate. We do not try to guess. We do not make any experimentation. We simply hear it as it is from the authority. So how are we considering Lord Brahma as the authority? Lord Brahma is the authority of the Vedas. He is the first living being. He is the creator of the universe. And nobody knows better than Lord Brahma. So Lord Brahma is saying in here in the second sentence, Satchit Ananda Vigraha. First line he said Ishvara Parama Krishna. That is, Krishna is the supreme personality of God. In second line he is saying Satchit Ananda Vigraha. What is the form of Lord Shri Krishna? What kind of body he has got? Is Supreme Lord light? Is Supreme Lord formless? Is the absolute truth imaginary form that we can imagine any form and then he will appear in that form? No. That is not the version from the authentic scripture. Satchit Ananda Vigraha. That means eternal, blissful spiritual body. Let us try to understand that. So Sat, Chit and Ananda. There are three features which are explained here. Sat, Chit and Ananda. Sat means eternal. Chit means knowledge. Ananda means blissful. So Krishna's form or Krishna's body is full of knowledge. Sat is full of eternity. Sat, and is full of knowledge. Chit is full of bliss. Ananda. So if we have to understand Krishna's form is not like our form. Our form, our human body, can anybody tell me what it is made up of? Human body?
Panchabhuta.
Panchamahabhutas. Panchamahabhutas. The five material elements. That is earth, water, air, fire, ether. And mind, intelligence and false ego. These are the subtle elements. Gross elements and subtle elements. So is Krishna's body also made up of this earth, water, fire, air and ether and mind, intelligence and false ego? No. Krishna's body is not like our body. Our body goes through 6 kinds of transformations. whereas Krishna's body does not undergo any kind of transformation. It is Satchit Ananda, full of eternity, full of knowledge, and full of bliss. That is Krishna's body. Again, here, the next line, Lord Brahma is saying, Anadir Adir Govindaha. Anadi means there is no beginning. There is no beginning. Adir means beginning. So he is beginning to the beginningless. That is Krishna. Govindaha. Govinda is another name for Krishna. Govindaha. And next line, he concludes, Sarva Karana Karanam. So there is a cause, right? First of all, Krishna is the beginning to the beginningless. So there is no beginning to Krishna. Everything has got a beginning. Adi and Anta. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, I am the beginning, I am the end, and I am the middle. So he is the beginning of the creation, he is the end of the creation, and he is in the middle of creation. So Krishna is always present, and it is never possible, or there is never a time when Krishna is not present. Krishna explains to that, to Arjuna also says that there was never a time that I was not there, nor you were there. But I remember all my past births, but you do not remember. So Krishna, or the absolute truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is the origin of all. And he has no other origin. There is no origin for Krishna. Similarly, there is no other cause for Krishna. He is the primary cause. Sarva Karana Karanam. Karana means cause. Everything has got a cause. Just like this class has got a cause. The reason why we are doing this class is because today is the beginning of Kartik month. And the reason why we are doing Brahma-saṁhitā is because it explains about the absolute truth, about Krishna Tattva. Like that, everything has got a reason. The reason why you are all assembled here is that you want to hear about Krishna in this holy month of Kartik. Similarly, everything has got a cause in this material world. There is a reason why you are doing something or why something is happening. So if you ask questions repeatedly, why? Again, another question, why? For that answer, another question, why? Another question, why? Finally, you will reach Krishna. Because Krishna is Sarva Karana Karanam. So he is the supreme cause for all the causes. Just like if we ask what is the cause for a person, we will say, okay, the cause for a person being born is his father. What is the cause for his father? His father's father, that is grandfather. What is the cause for the grandfather's father? Like that, if you keep on tracing backwards, ultimately you will reach Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma is the cause for all the living entities within this material world. Now, if we ask the question, who is the cause for Lord Brahma? So it's like a research work. We are asking another question. Who is the cause for Lord Brahma? Can anybody tell me who is the cause for Lord Brahma? How was Lord Brahma born? Who was he born from?
Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu.
Yes, he was born from Lord Narayan. From Lord Narayan, Lord Brahma had come. And who, if we ask who is the cause for Lord Narayan, there is cause for Lord Narayan also. Narayana has come from the Chaturvyuha expansion, Vasudeva. And from where did this Chaturvyuha expansion come? From another Chaturvyuha expansion. So like that, if we trace back, ultimately the final cause is Krishna. And for Krishna, there is no cause. Sarva Karana Karana. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord says that you must research up to this point. Once up to you reach Lord Shri Krishna. Once you reach Krishna, that is the ultimate cause of all causes. So this is our process of knowledge, that we receive the knowledge from authority. Right? We do not accept general authority, but we accept the great acharyas. Our main authority is Lord Brahma. Therefore, we are reciting this Brahma-saṁhitā. Right? So just like receiving a knowledge from father. There's a small child who is asking, my dear father, can you tell me what is this? And the father says, this is a fridge. This is a refrigerator. The child does not know anything, but simply the child repeats it. My father said that this is a refrigerator, therefore I shall repeat that this is a refrigerator. So simply by repetition, the child has got perfect knowledge. The child may not have realized or have understood it properly at this moment, but no problem. Because he is repeating the authority perfectly well, his knowledge is perfect. Similarly here, our authority is Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma is explaining that Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachit Ananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govindam Sarvakarana Karanam. So here Lord Brahma is saying that Krishna is known as the Govinda, is the supreme Godhead. He is an eternal blissful spiritual body and he is the origin of all. He has no other origin and he is the prime cause of all causes. Therefore, we shall just simply accept it and repeat after him that Ishvara Parama Krishna. Whatever Lord Brahma says, we shall repeat it. So simply by repeating the authority, our knowledge becomes perfect knowledge. So this is the perfect way of understanding. Krishna cannot be understood by anybody except the authorities. The great authorities like Lord Brahma is himself explaining in this Brahma-saṁhitā. It is given in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Ekale Ishvara Krishna ara sabha bhritya yare yaiche nachaya te taiche kare nritya. That means Krishna, Ekala Ishvara. There is only one controller, supreme controller Krishna. What about others? Ara sabha bhritya. Everybody is a servant of Krishna, including Adishesha, who is the supreme personality of Godhead himself, is the servant of Krishna. Then who else is not the servant of Krishna? Everybody is a servant of Krishna. And however Krishna wants, everybody dances. So Krishna is not formless. He has got a form. He has got a beautiful form. Unlike our form, material form, which has a beginning and an ending. We can understand this by simply repeating the instructions of Brahma-saṁhitā. Satchidananda Vigraha. So this is Krishna. So why did Krishna create the universe? So this we may get a doubt, right? So just like we see that a man, he gets married and then expands his family. He takes the responsibility of maintaining a wife, children, and working very hard for maintaining them. So why does a man bother for getting married and expanding his family? Why at all bother? Because there is pleasure. It's not a botheration. So alone, there is no happiness. But with my child, with my wife, with my family, I shall be very happy. With a nice family, there is happiness, there is pleasure. That's the reason why, somebody is taking the risk and getting married, etc. Similarly, God is not alone. He wants to enjoy pleasure with his sons, with his family members. Therefore, he is expanding. We all belong to God's family. Right? We are actually originally from God's kingdom. So all the living entities which we are seeing in this material world are also coming from the Supreme Lord. And it is the desire of the Lord that he wants to enjoy in the company of his family. But not in this material world, in the spiritual world. So therefore, the more we meditate upon Krishna, there is a therapeutic effect that's happening. So there is a disease that we are getting cured from. That disease is called the material disease. We are taking repeated birth and death. We are suffering from multiple miseries. This disease completely gets cured simply by meditating upon Lord Shri Krishna. So there are millions and trillions of universes, and each of the universe, there are millions of planets. And each of the planet, there are millions and trillions of living entities. So all of them together, they are all God's children. So this is the kingdom of God, right? And Krishna, he wants that everybody be happy, everybody enjoy in this world. But the enjoyment is only possible by remembering Krishna. As soon as we forget Krishna, there is no Ananda, Satchit Ananda. It becomes Asat. As soon as the moment we forget Krishna, Asat, the world becomes temporary. Achit, Ajnana, that means ignorance. Nirananda, Dukkha. The world becomes Dukkhalayam Ashashvata and full of ignorance if we forget Krishna. So simply we have to do this. We just have to remember the source of all the causes, cause of all causes, Krishna. Simply by transferring our mind towards the original source, towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by practicing this, we can transfer ourselves to the spiritual world and we can blissfully enjoy with the Supreme Father, Supreme Lord Krishna. Okay, devotees, so we will stop here. Hare Krishna. So this is the explanation for the first verse of Brahma-saṁhitā. Anybody has any questions? Hare Krishna. Any questions? Anybody wants to add something? Okay. Hare Krishna. So what we'll do now is we will recite Damodar Ashtakam.